What's up, guys, and welcome to the emergency Monday Rhino Live show. I guess the pouting party, pity party for the Gamecock fans. Drinking early on Monday. Drinking the Michelob Ultra infusions, lime and prickly pear cactus. And you ask, why would you drink such a thing? Because being a Gamecock fan is like just eating a whole cactus with the thorns and all. I mean, at first it quenches your thirst, but then the thorns get caught and it damn near kills you. That's what being a Gamecock fan is. So I got a top 5 list of what I think needs to change at University of South Carolina. Ray Tanner, Will Muschamp. Number 3, we're going to discuss the economics of the deal. Number 4, Mike Bobo and the staff. And number 5, who could be the new coach. Number 1, Ray Tanner. Gamecock fans will be forever indebted to Ray Tanner. I mean, no matter what he does from here out. You know, he brought 2 national championships, 2 runner-ups in baseball, put South Carolina back on the map where they hadn't been in a while, brought in talent that we normally couldn't get. A lot of guys would normally go to the major leagues, draft. He brought in guys, stacked the roster, had a unique way of teaching and style that won a lot of close games, won some SEC East, won the SEC. Like I said, went to Omaha on a regular, won 2 national championships. Forever indebted for that. All right. So after the 2012 season, kind of tired of coaching. Eric Hyman leaves. Perfect storm. Ray Tanner ends up being the athletic director. And at the time, you just never know. I mean, sometimes the athletic director doesn't have to do a lot. I mean, he just delegates, situations. And, if the transition from Ray Tanner to Chad Holbrook turns into 2 more World Series championships, we're not talking about this. Or, if Frank Martin wins that national championship when he went to the Final Four, we might not be talking about this. Or if Spurrier doesn't leave so abruptly and, leaves on a high note the year before, hands it over to a good young coach, we're not talking about this. A lot of factors Ray Tanner didn't have a lot of control in. But this one he does. The biggest mistake I think Ray Tanner made was after them 3 seasons where Muschamp had the best winning percentage of any coach, he kind of overvalued Will Muschamp. Like, nobody was coming to take Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp was pretty good at the time, but it's kind of like the mom who posts her kid finished 3rd in the swim meet, but doesn't tell everybody that there was only 4 kids in the competition and one of them only had 1 arm. You just talk about the bronze medal. You don't talk about the fact that, a Labrador Retriever could have finished 3rd had he been in the meet. But anyway, so you kind of overvalue that and you kind of hamstrung thinking the best case scenario where he's going to win 8, 9, 10 games, going to compete for the SEC East. At the time, the SEC East was kind of up for grabs. Florida hadn't really rebuilt with Dan Mullen. Georgia hadn't, Mark Richt was gone and didn't know what was going to happen with Kirby Smart. Jeremy Pruitt goes to Tennessee. So it's kind of a limbo, and you should win 6, 7, 8 games by default, maybe 9 or 10. But anyway, it hadn't worked out that way. So now you gotta kind of make a change. It sucks. Keep Ray Tanner on as whatever, maybe an advisor if he wants to. If not, give him a severance package to get him down the road. That brings us to Will Muschamp. See, guys get these titles like guru. He's a defensive guru. Well, the defense ain't worth a damn, and there ain't a defensive back on the field over 6'1", and you can't play that way. He's got undersized guys throughout. He's offered scholarships. We got more tight ends than an NFL roster, but don't have a kicker on scholarship. And we do prefer walk-ons where teams like Tennessee and them come in and cherry-pick kickers. There's kickers in the NFL from the state of South Carolina that wasn't offered by South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? We stockpile positions we don't need, and then we turn around and don't have a kicker when we need a kicker. So, Will Muschamp, and this will go into number 4, kind of aligned itself with Tavares Robinson, who was a great defensive coach, a great defensive coordinator, and a great defensive recruiter. Where's the great defensive players? They don't tackle well. They don't defend well. J.C. Horn's a really good defensive back, but there's 10 other guys on the field at the time, and they're not very good. They don't get pressure on the quarterback. They don't tackle well. When there's an interception there, they don't get it. They talk shit every time they make a tackle 8 yards down the field after the first down. It's not time to talk shit then. So not very good or not very disciplined. And you had, 5, 6 years to get your guys in there. I get it, the first 3 years if you didn't have guys. But now you still don't have guys, and you're supposed to be a guru of a recruiter. It's not a guru. Will Muschamp tied himself with that. Will Muschamp ties himself with Mike Bobo and a one-legged quarterback. He's got a 3-8 record as a starter. I mean, how was that helping? How was that helping down the road? Next year, say Muschamp keeps his job, Helinski gets no throws, Luke Doty gets no throws, DeCarrion Joyner gets no throws. How does that help your team in 2021 by having a lamed up quarterback that's 3-8 record coming here? Even if he plays pretty good, it doesn't help your team going forward. You need to get Helinski, if he's going to be your quarterback next year, he needs to get those reps. Or if Luke Doty can beat him out, he needs to get those reps. It's asinine, number one, to hire Mike Bobo, number two, to bring his quarterback who's not very good. He's all right. He's a nice kid. He'd win a Steven Garcia lookalike Halloween contest, but he ain't going to win in the SEC. So Will Muschamp's kind of, he's tied himself to the anchor of these coaches, and it's going to be to the detriment of them. Number three, the economics. Everybody says, man, it's $18 million. Can't buy him out. Can't afford to do it. Dollar Moore Business School is the biggest damn business school in the United States. Number one famous, really known business school. You think they can't figure out how to raise $18 million? You think they ain't got $18 million? You think universities don't have $18 million in the bank? I think they do. I mean, they get $45, $50 million every year from the SEC, from other teams being good. I believe they can come up with $18 million. Economics ain't the problem. I believe right now you can call the majority of the boosters and board of trustees, they'd pitch in. Big money industry around here, they chip in. $18 million ain't nothing. Let him run. If it's $10 million at January 1st, let him run the rest of this year. You ain't going to save this year by hiring anybody. I mean, you can bring Bill Belichick in here, they ain't going to win. You see that. Bill Belichick can't win with his own self. Cam Newton, quarterback. So economics ain't a problem. Do it however you got to do it. If it's easier on you, wait January 1st, fire him, give him $10 million, get him down the road. I mean, economics, it's ridiculous to even believe that. Corporate sponsorship, especially if this corona thing kicks it in a couple months, everything will be back to normal. People be spending money, filling up auditoriums, filling up stadiums. The money will be back tenfold, no problem. Number four, Mike Bobo. I don't know why you thought this was going to be the savior. A guy can't have a winning record in the Mountain West Conference. I could take me and a dead dog out there and go 6-6 in the Mountain West Conference. There ain't no great talent. There's a bunch of Mormons, Samoans, and hippies. That's what you got to beat. I mean, very few of the team have a black guy. Don't even have a black player on the team. You don't have to beat black guys. You got to beat flat-footed white guys. A bunch of guys like Barney Rubble. And you can't have a winning record out there as a head coach. You can't do that. How did you come to the SEC and think you could beat Florida and Georgia and LSU and Alabama and Auburn? Texas A&M. Supposedly Clemson on a real year when it's not conference. You think you can beat Clemson? Think you can outscore teams? You can't outscore Utah State, but you think you can outscore Clemson? I don't think so. I know he's a Georgia guy. That's another problem with Muschamp. You get too close in here with friends and relationships. That's not a good one. Mike Bobo sucks. And finally, new head coach. What do you do now? Fire Will Muschamp. What are you going to do? Who can you get better than Will Muschamp? Anybody. Tom Knotts at Dutch Fork. He's better than Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp sucks. I mean, this is proofs in the pudding. He's going to go 2-8 this year. It's hard to go 2-8, man. You got to try to go 2-8. You ain't no good. You go 2-8. New head coach. A lot of names flying around here. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an AD, but you got a lot of guys. Billy Napier doing good, Louisiana. You got Jamie Chadwell at Coastal Carolina, doing really well, undefeated, beating people. I don't know. I don't know how they compare to SEC though. Are they good at getting 3 stars and making them really good, but can they beat 5 stars with them? I don't know that. Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, coming here with a force. Brought that Ohio State in with him, and he's doing big things. I don't know. Who cares? I mean, that's not for us to figure out because, there's going to be a lot of us yelling about hiring somebody, and most of us ain't going to say shit after they hire him and it's wrong. And he turns out to be Darren Horn, turns out to be Steve Newton, turns out to be Chad Holbrook. Then you hush. Like, I told you so. You didn't say anything. So I don't know who the new head coach should be. I mean, I don't know who the candidates are. I mean, we could have got Tom Herman. He can't win at Texas with billions of dollars. So what would we have done if we'd have hired him? Would Sean Elliott win here? I don't know. There's a lot of mid-major guys. I mean, just like Darren Horn in basketball. He took Western Kentucky to the dance a couple of times. We thought mid-major guy going up. That guy sucks. He got killed. Weren't no good. We're better off with Eddie Fogel and his bad attitude. You just never know. New head coach, would I be mad about any of them? No. I'm not fully confident that winning at Louisiana or Coastal Carolina is enough resume for me. Maybe move up another level or mid-major. Luke Fickell at Cincinnati's beating some people. He's beating some teams that's got 4-star talent, and maybe he's a possibility. I don't know, but it ain't Will Muschamp, it ain't Tavares Robinson, and it ain't Mike Bobo. So, hopefully they don't get embarrassed the rest of this year. Maybe something will come down the line. I hate it, for Bobby Bentley, who's been on the staff for a long time. It's just bad for him. His son leaves and goes to Utah. He stays here and then just gets pummeled every weekend. Bad for him. Good guy. Hell, he might have been a good head coach. He was a damn good high school coach, and that's as good a resume as Will Muschamp has. So, anyway, got to get rid of Ray. Got to get rid of Will. The money's there. Get rid of Bobo, Tavares Robinson. Clean house. Get rid of them, the 6th and 7th tight end, and get a damn kicker in here when you need a kick. You see how how big that is for teams that win. Late kicks. Clutch kicks, we need that. Get some DBs that are over 6 foot tall, and play these guys who are going to be here next year, man. It's no good. No matter how good Colin Hill looks, it ain't going to help Helinski and Luke Doty. So Kevin Harris is a stud, by the way. If he was at Kentucky, he'd probably be on ESPN every night. But unfortunately, he plays for South Carolina, who gets down by 45 points, and they got to throw the football around. But just my take. Get rid of everybody. Start over. And see what happens. You can't be no worse. 2-8 sucks, especially with the economics and the money that South Carolina's got and the fan support. People sell out a stadium when they go 0-21. They'll damn sure come back if you go 5-5, but you ain't gonna get to 5-5. So anyway, that's just my take. The Michelob Ultra Infusion, it's actually kind of weak. It tastes like if you took a seltzer water and squeezed a lime in it. Not much to it. It's kind of like Michelob Ultra Seltzer Lime. And for $2.39, it ain't good. It says real exotic fruit, but I don't believe it. I believe it's probably the limes they got at Piggly Wiggly. It ain't good. It's about as good as Tavares Robinson is. I was getting defensive talent for South Carolina. So pass on the Michelob Ultra Fusion. Pass on Will Muschamp. Pass on Mike Bobo. Clean it out. Start it over. Get Brad Edwards in there as the AD. 1987 Gamecock. Bring him back and start this thing over from scratch. Just my opinion. Y'all have a good Monday. See y'all.